He's also pledged to tie the US economic stimulus to tackling climate change. But will the sector live up to the hype? To find out, I'm now joined by Ross Gerber of Gerber Kawasaki. Ross, thanks for joining us. I'll talk about some of the concerns in a moment, but first, why is the sector so hot right now? Is it just down to the Joe Biden factor?
Well, no, it's not just the Joe Biden factor. It's also the factor of the fact that the need for dealing with climate change is just enormous, and the time is running out. So you have this combination of a lack of time, enormous costs to the global economy because of climate, whether it's fire or hurricanes or whatever, and so now with Biden coming in and the laser focus on handling and tackling this problem, it's just going to create a huge opportunity for these companies over the next decade.
But now that much of the sector is seeing sky-high valuations, do you think there's any risk going into 2021?
Well, of course. I mean, obviously, the sector clearly values this change in policy. And I think that with all good investments, oftentimes you have to pay more than you want to get in. But I think as a long-term investor, this is the sector you want to be in. You have to be in if you want to make above average returns. And we're heavily invested at my firm in clean energy and climate, what we call the climate change trade, because there's just, I think, a ton of money going to go into the sector. So although valuations are high and there's risk, the reward is also potentially high.
So how would you advise investors to get into the sector right now?
Well, for most investors, I think the easiest way to invest in sectors like climate is through an ETF. ETFs like TAN, which is really solar and renewable energy ETF, or LIT, which is lithium and battery technology, which gives you exposures there. And of course, pure plays like Tesla, which is just one of the few really pure plays on climate with solar and EV production. So there's many ways to play investing in the entire supply chain for solar and renewable energy, as well as EV cars. So, there's lots of opportunity in the sectors, but ETFs give you broad exposure, and I think it's a good way to do it.
Thank you so much. That was Ross Gerber of Gerber Kawasaki.